welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and Jerry Usher is getting situated at the seminary in Boston and getting his class schedule, and he'll be back with us before you know it, because time flies. So we pray for him. So Jerry, if you're listening, hope you got a good schedule and getting going at the seminary. I got to see a picture of outside his dorm. He's got a beautiful courtyard and statues and just gorgeous to look at. So it looks very, very peaceful. So we wish him well to get ready with this first semester, and then he'll be back with us. So you have me, I have you, and I feel very loved by the Take Two family today. I just wanted to say real quickly before we start the show, and the show is about having a junk drawer in your home. I prefer to call it a catch-all drawer. Why? Because it's more chic, more positive. So if you have a catch-all place that you throw everything into, maybe in the kitchen drawer or something like that, or in the office, or just commonly called the junk drawer, would you call in and share with us? You don't have to be Catholic to call in. Would you please share with us why you have this particular area of your house, why you throw everything in there? Maybe you could share some of the things you put in there, and I'll tell you why. It does definitely relate to our spiritual lives, the way our depth of spirituality. You'll see, because a lot of psychologists have weighed in on the junk drawer theory. Okay, so let's talk about it. If you feel like embarrassed, you shouldn't, because it's actually, it can be quite positive. So if you feel, super embarrassed or ashamed by it or anything like that, the way you arrange your house, then just when you call up, speak to Ace and just put your confirmation name or your name that you would prefer to be called. Ace is on the phones today, and Charles Beer is at the controls. Michael McCall is on social media, and we already have social media comments coming in. So it's all about, if you have a junk drawer. I do. I call it a catch-all drawer, but I tell you what, it's helped me many times. I'll share that in a moment. But call in and share what's going on in your home, and you'll see why this weaves in, and it tells a lot about our personalities. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. I really need you to keep me company for this conversation, because I have a lot to say about it, but I really want to say very little and have you be the teachers for this particular episode, because I think we can all move away from this very brief hour on Catholic radio with a better understanding of what's going on in people's minds and hearts and what their worries are and their fears. You'll see where we're going with this. 833-288-3986. Please call in, and if again, I'll say this, we have new listeners each and every time we do this show. You don't have to be Catholic to call in. So if you're driving, pull over safely to the side of the road and make your call, and keep us company for a few minutes and share your experience of having a junk drawer. I call it a catch-all drawer. Okay, so now moving into a little bit of housekeeping and information I wanted to share with the Take Two family. Please make sure you go to the Jerry and Debbie Facebook page and like us there. The family is growing, so that's wonderful, and you can catch the YouTube episode over there on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. And if you get something out of Take Two, please share it with a friend, because I know that a lot of priests have contacted us over the years, and just recently a lot of priests and deacons have said that it really does provide a lot of material for them when they craft their homilies. So that's a wonderful thing, and we really want to keep that going. And then I wanted to share something just personal from me to you, the Take Two family. I just wanted to say thank you. I want to say this publicly, because there is no way. I looked at the abundance of comments and messages and voicemails coming in, trying to reach me yesterday. And I'm so sorry to say this. I probably will not get back to half of you, because it's an abundance, and I love you so very, very much. Thank you for all the kind, beautiful comments you sent me yesterday. Apparently, you all were pretty you thought it was very interesting, the conversation yesterday, and you thought it was actually very exciting radio, and I did too. I thought it was very good. But you sent beautiful comments about Take Two and how much you love it and how much you love what we're trying to do in ministry, Jerry and I, for the past 9+ years. So I'm not going to be able to write back to everybody or call everybody back, but thank you. The kind words goes deep into my heart. I'll pass them all on to Jerry, absolutely, as soon as I talk to him next, which will probably be today or tomorrow. So because we're so excited. We are ready to add all of September's topics. And guess what? I think 10 of the topics are from you, the Take Two family. You suggested them, and we're putting them on the show calendar for September and into October. So super excited about that. Okay, there's a couple open phone lines about this junk drawer theory. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Yes, I have a drawer in my kitchen right next to the refrigerator, and it's a catch-all drawer. Now, I will tell you that it has saved us, I believe, in a minor way, quite a few times, and I'll tell you why. My husband goes at nighttime sometimes to go to the grocery store because it's less crowded. And, there's still, things going around, and so there's less people in the store. So he goes to the grocery store at night, and when he comes home with a few items, I put the receipt in this catch-all drawer. And he doesn't even notice it. Like, I pull it right out of the bag, put it in the drawer. And many times he'll either pick up the wrong item, or it's damaged, or it's opened, or something like that. And he'll say, "Oh no, I don't know where the receipt is." And I say, "Don't worry, honey." And I run to the drawer, and there it is. So that drawer has really helped. And I mainly use it to keep receipts and stuff like that, at coupons, things like that, or even little cards that come in the mail that I want to keep the number or the person that does that service or something like that. So I use it for that. Now, I also have a pair of scissors, kitchen scissors, to cut like bags and stuff like that from the freezer. But that's basically about it. Oh, I do have blessed oil and blessed holy water in that particular drawer, as well as on the counters and everything. Because I want to have extra in case I need it quickly if somebody's coming over to the house. But that's what I use it for. It's pretty, that's pretty, not many things are in there. But I want to hear about you. And what do you have in that catch-all drawer today? 833-288-3986. Please call us.
EWTN podcasts are available on Spotify. Weekday shows from the Sunrise Morning Show through Cresta in the afternoon, plus the latest weekend programming. You can find it all at Spotify.com.
Here's today's quote from Mother Angelica's Perpetual Calendar. We have to learn to live in the present moment. God's will is manifested to us in the duties and experiences of the present moment. We only have to accept them and try to be like Jesus in them. Mother's spiral-bound Perpetual Calendar features an inspirational message for each day of the year. It's available from the EWTN Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
Hello, this is Father Robert Spitzer. We're talking about faith, reason, and virtue on Father Spitzer's Universe, Saturday night at 11 o'clock Eastern on EWTN Radio.
The EWTN Radio listener comment line is open right now for you. If you've got a question or comment about what you hear on EWTN Radio, we'd love to hear it. Call 205-795-5773. We'd also like to know how our programming has impacted your life or the life of someone you know. That number again, 205-795-5773. And thank you for listening to EWTN Radio.
Spreading the good news of salvation. This is EWTN Radio.
Do you have a catch-all drawer in your house somewhere? We're going to get to Stephanie first. And Stephanie, hold on, but there's room for you. That junk drawer in your home, if you're kind of embarrassed to talk about it, you can just give another name. But please call in. Don't sit this out. Don't think somebody else is going to call for you. And step up if you feel prompted by the Spirit. I shared what's in the drawer in our kitchen. actually, you know what? I could probably use those scissors. I mean, those could be a defense item too, if like, God forbid anything happens. So I never thought of that because I'm going with this theory of what the psychologists are saying, that it has a lot to do with your personality. So I'll share that in a moment. Like, well, let me just share it right now. For instance, if somebody has something in their drawer that has, like, let's say they have 13 flashlights. Okay, that could be a sign that they're very fear driven, they have anxiety, they have fears, all sorts of things that worry them, and that does relate to our spiritual lives because that tells a lot about the person. So it's very interesting. Okay, call in 833-288 EWTN 833-288-3986. Today's saint of the day is Pope St. Pius X. So if you don't know his story and all about his pontificate, please look it up because today's the day for Pope St. Pius X. Very interesting. And I just wanted to give a highlight because some folks are asking, what's tomorrow's topic as well? You'll see how it ties in. That's why. I'll give you a little hint. Today's junk drawer. Tomorrow is practicing the art of detachment. But before we get to Stephanie, I just want to share with our listeners Amazon Fire TV. Okay, Amazon Fire TV. Never miss any of your favorite EWTN television or radio shows when you have the Amazon Fire TV player. All you need is a high-speed internet connection, a TV, and the Amazon Fire TV player. How cool is that? Okay, so let's get over to Stephanie. And Stephanie is listening on the TuneIn app in Houston, Texas. Hey, Stephanie, welcome.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. Yeah.
I can. Go right ahead.
I'm calling because your topic today and tomorrow is music to my ears. I'm a professional organizer here in Houston, and I can say that everyone, regardless of socioeconomic status, has a junk drawer. Every single house that I have been into has had a junk drawer. Some of them even multiple drawers.
Wow. Okay, I need Stephanie, I've got to ask you a boatload of questions. So you're a professional organizer. Can you tell a lot about their personality from this junk drawer or this catch-all drawer? Because this is what the psychologists are saying, some of them.
Yes. I mean, some people have, you could have an organized junk drawer, with nice little drawer separators or little baskets inside the drawers. Mm-hmm. But there's some people that are really, really struggling or have temptations, shall I say, where they just continuously stuff their drawers to the top with just this stuff. Like it could be the grocery bags, or
right.
They just become obsessed at some time with certain things, and or others can be very practical as well. But my kid just might forget their Sharpie for school, so they'll have an extra set of markers or something in the drawer. Mm-hmm. And some people have. They like to collect planners that they never use. And it's always in the junk drawer or stuff somewhere like that. But
okay.
It's quite interesting. Yeah.
So, Stephanie, are you very busy being a professional organizer? Because I will tell you, you're in Houston. I would love for you to come to Gilbert, Arizona, because I think there's such a gift to that you have the ability. So now you don't have an emotional attachment to the items. So for you see the bigger picture. You have that probably organized mind, and so you see the bigger picture. So you're just putting it into place. It's kind of like a person who's in an office who does filing, right? They just can do it almost as quick as a robot can because they're so fast at it. Is that true with your business, Stephanie?
Yes. So I don't attach myself. It's easier for someone from the outside, I guess, or to help someone, go through those things rather than. And there's some people that are do-it-yourselfers, but they want a list to check off or something. It all depends on how their mind works. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've also had.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm talking over you there. Clients that I have met that are what I call, I guess, a bit scrupulous in the sense that they won't, like, they'll keep hundreds of prayer cards because they don't know what to do with them, or they shop at the local Goodwill to save Bibles or something.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to, that's what my mother did. My mother's junk drawer had all religious items that she had no idea what to do with. She didn't know who to give them to. She didn't know where to send them. She didn't know what to do with it. So she just put them in this drawer. So I can understand that, especially as Catholics. So many times we don't have access to a place that will take things back, or if we get it in the mail or something of that nature. But Stephanie, let me ask you a question. Can you give us a couple, before we let you go, can you give us a couple tips on how to start to organize today? Just to even start, like I heard one time, it was Oprah Winfrey, I think, that said it, that she said you take an item like a piece of clothing and you say to yourself, have I worn this in a year? And if you haven't worn it in a year, you give it away. What do you say to that?
It all depends on the person's personality and how they think. I like to go by what there's an acronym called SPACE. So you sort what you have, like with like, and then you get to see how many pairs of scissors you have, and then you purge from there. And whatever you have left, you have to allocate a space for it. And then maybe you might have a few things that you need to contain in a container, but you need to make sure the container, that is the proper container for the items you have left.
Sure.
What happens with a lot of people is that they get carried away with the Instagram photos of perfectly aligned lives, and they think form over function. And so they go out and buy all these beautiful containers, and they don't know, or they think they'll organize with containers, but at the end of the day, you just have to pare it down to exactly what you love and need. And if you have the space for it, because you can't have more than what your space allows for.
Yeah, so you're not big on people doing exterior storage units and purchasing, and renting those, right? That's probably not your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, but real quickly, Stephanie, we're getting a lot of messages. Can you give that acronym again? Can you spell it?
Sure. SPACE, like outer space. So S for sort, P for purging, A for allocate, meaning allocate a space for your item, C for contain, so find a container for it, and E is equalizing. And equalizing, all that means, it's just a fancy word to say that you have to be flexible. Because once you get it all pretty, you have to live in the space for a little bit to make sure it flows with your lifestyle and it's easy to maintain. Because if the system's too complicated, you won't be able to maintain it.
Right. Yeah.
And then you make room for adjustment.
Right. Wow. Powerful call today, Stephanie. You are so awesome. Thank you for giving us those tips. God bless you in the work that you're doing, organizing people's homes and their lives, because I believe that's a ministry work. So God bless you on that, Stephanie. I hope you're super busy.
I hope I'll get busier.
Okay.
I'm on my way to an organizing meeting right now, but thank you so much for what you do too.
Thank you. We love you too. Thank you, Stephanie. God bless you. Wow, that was a great call. We got great tips. We got that's fabulous. See, this is why I love Take Two. We're always learning and growing together as the body of Christ. Okay, Stephanie just freed that phone line if you'd like to jump in. 833-288-3986. We're talking junk drawers today, or catch-all drawers. That's how I like to say it. Why? Because it's a little more chic and a little more positive. Okay, I'm just saying. Kara, I want to say hello to you. Hold on. Becca said on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page, Becca said, yes, I just cleaned it out. She has a junk drawer. Just cleaned it out. It had clothespins, bread ties, pictures, change. What a mess. Ellen says, yes, I have a junk drawer. See, I think we pretty much probably we all do it at some level, even in our offices. So let's say hi to Kara. Kara's listening on the iCatholic radio app in the great state of Massachusetts. Hi, Kara.
Hey, Debbie, how's it going?
Great. I feel so loved today by the Take Two family. I love you guys. I think the Take Two family is so much fun because I think we're trying to journey together and grow in our faith. And I just think it's a cool kind of group to belong to.
Yeah, well, and we all have junk drawers, so we all fit in the same family.
True. That's true. Go right ahead. So why don't you share with us?
So, so I definitely have, I have a junk house, but I definitely have a junk drawer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really like a crazy mess, like pens, pencils, twist ties, rubber bands, notepads, paper clips, all kinds of junk in there. And, like in March 2020, when we're all stuck in the house, I said to my husband, I'm cleaning out this drawer. I can't take it anymore. So I took the drawer out and I emptied it all out, and I had little containers for all the pens and pencils and twist ties and rubber bands and paper clips and notepads. But while I was cleaning that out, I discovered all the love notes that I had put in my kids' lunch boxes over the years. And it was so great to find all of those and read them and go through them. And I did still save them. I was
just going to say, did you put them in a special place, Kara?
So they are bagged up. So I have 2 daughters and a son. And so, and I reuse the love notes sometimes, but my sons were a little more specific. Like they would say, Dear Matthew, and they would maybe have a picture of an airplane or a truck or something on them, where the girls were, I could kind of share some of those love notes. So when I went through all of that stuff and I sent, pictures, text messages to all my kids, and I was like, look what I found in the junk drawer. I found all of the love notes. And of course the girls are like, why does Matthew have so much more than we do?
Yeah. Matthew's one of the favorite child.
Yeah. Well, because some of them were addressed like to Sarah, some were addressed to Emily, but some were just generic, like girl love notes. And so they would be used for both, but Matthew's were specific to Matthew. So it looked like he had more, but there were plenty of girl love notes in there too.
See, that's just so beautiful. What a treasure that you found in that junk drawer. See, that's a good ending to this conversation. I think that's perfect.
It was really fun, and I saved them, so I bagged them up, and I just couldn't bring myself to throw them away because I feel like, someday I'll be gone, and they might want to look at those themselves, and then they can throw them away.
Yeah. No, I think those are precious because you can't get those back, and you can't get stuff like that back. That's why I have such a hard time throwing out. I've been practicing the art of detachment, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, Kara, on Take Two. But we've been after the pandemic and during the pandemic, actually, Marty and I have becoming what you call like minimalists because we're getting older and we're trying to purge everything, and I just can't. It's like when I hold those little ceramic things that our kids made, where they put their handprint in and they color
I know. Those are precious. Those you have to keep. But other things. When I cleaned out my mom's place after she passed away. There are a lot of things you have to throw away. Like she had an entire drawer that was just all pictures that had never gone into a photo album. Mm-hmm. And so we had to go through all of those pictures, and we literally saved pictures that had people in them, and everything that was, scenery, we threw away. Wow. It's like, wow, they went to Hawaii. Here's a volcano they saw. Like, I can't keep that. But, if there was a picture of them or a picture of them with, relatives or friends, of course we kept that. But you do have to get rid of stuff. It's just the way of the world.
The good news is we have the phone. Like I tell everyone, just take a picture of it on your phone and then make sure you have it somewhere so that you can have at least a picture.
Yeah, I mean, this was like years and years ago when there was none of that, and you sent your pictures off to CVS in those little envelopes, and they come back, and you'd always order double so you could give a picture away. And
yeah, didn't you love that when they had they had the special offer that you could get a second set of prints? I used to love that. I used to love going.
I know. So anyway, but I'm glad I held on to those love notes, and now the drawer. I mean, I organized that drawer in 2020. And it's still nice. Like it's all the, if a rubber band starts to get thin and I think it's going to snap, I just throw it away.
Yeah, very cool. Kara, you are so awesome. Thank you so much for joining this conversation from the great state of Massachusetts. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. If you'd like to join in about your junk drawer, please call us at 833-288 3986. And coming up next will be Linda listening from Texas, so please join her.
Tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Morning Show,
we'll celebrate the Feast of the Queenship of Mary and what it means for her Assumption to culminate in her coronation. We'll also catch up with Gary Machuda from Hands On Apologetics and talk Bible foods with certified herbalist Rita Heichenfeld from About Eating. Plus all the latest news, weather, sports, and a whole lot more.
The Sunrise Morning Show, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Inherent in the question, will you marry me, is the question, will you renounce all others out of love for me? That's why when Jesus first announced the kingdom, he didn't just say, believe the gospel, but repent and believe the gospel. So how do we repent? How do we leave behind the things that hold us back from a deeper relationship with God? First, be patient with yourself. Second, use confession regularly. And third, make sacrifices that correct your areas of weakness. Do you struggle with laziness? Give up hitting snooze. Struggle with greed? Do something for the poor. Struggle with self-control? Give up your favorite dessert. We don't grow just by focusing on the vices we're stuck in, but by strengthening virtues that we need. And in the end, after all your efforts, remember that it's not just about leaving sins behind us. It's about renouncing whatever holds us back from the love that's before us. This is Chris Stefanik from reallifecatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
Journey deeper in your understanding of the Eucharistic mystery and the Eucharistic story of God's love for us. Download the free ebook, The 12 Stations of the Most Holy Eucharist, at EWTN.com/Catholicism.
Hi, this is Cy Kellett. Bring your questions later today on Catholic Answers Live. We'll do our best to get you an answer. Catholic Answers Live, 6 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Okay, we'd like you to join us. We're talking about that catch-all place or drawer or some area of your home where you kind of throw everything in there. It just is just a mix of all sorts of things, and you may find a treasure like Kara did with the notes for her kids in the lunch boxes. I love that. So please join in and share. You don't, whatever you do, don't feel embarrassed or ashamed by it. I'm not gonna pry into any details of your personality or anything like that. We just want to learn and grow together. But I will say, though, that the psychologists, some of them are saying that it does tell a lot about a person's personality and characteristics and their fears and what they think they need and what they because that particular drawer is kind of like you download a lot of things that are going on in your head, and it goes into this drawer by way of different materials and different items. It's very fascinating. I read all about it a couple days ago in preparation for this show topic, and I learned, wow, it's amazing what's out there now to understand ourselves better. So the number to dial, if you have a junk drawer, if you know somebody who has one, or if there's a story you can tell, or maybe some tools tools or tips you can give us, please call in. Don't wait any longer because Ace has got his finger right on the button, ready to answer. He's so fast and efficient. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. And yes, I'm waving to everybody on social media, you guys in the chats. I just love you guys so much. I try to pop in there as often as I can. But let's hear what Linda has to say. And Linda is on the iCatholic radio app in Flower Mound, Texas. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I used to have a horrible jar, but I've been organized for years, and I organize it myself. I've got 4 metal bins and 3 plastic bins in the jar, and it fits the jar perfectly. In one jar, I got suction cups to mount anything I want to decorate with. In 2 that are stacked, I have my husband's return address and my return address. In the 4th metal jar, I have pins. And then in the plastic things, I have sugar for flowers when I get flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The next box has staples. But then my husband added for some seals for the gas cans in with the staples.
Wow.
And then the last plastic box holds wire rings to put things together. So that's what I got in my junk drawer now.
So
after I've cleaned it. But I've cleaned it so long ago, I don't remember what I found in there.
Yeah, but you're pretty happy with that junk drawer because it sounds like essential items.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you sound pretty organized. So you just don't throw it in there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty organized. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I once had to move a person out of her house, and I moved her out in a week.
Did you really?
Yeah, she called me and said, well, and I waited a day or two because she said to empty her house, and I was like, I'm not responsible for her house.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an acquaintance, So I had to do that. She wasn't there, and anyway, then the neighbor started helping me, and we got it all done. So
wow, that's a gift. That's an art. That goes back to our first caller was talking about being a professional organizer, and I think there's a real art. There's a real art to that, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love spatulas, and I was having trouble with my spatula drawer. Mm-hmm. So I got a canister, and I put my bigger spatulas in the canister, and it says home on it, Mm-hmm. And then the little spatulas I leave in the drawer, and so the drawer is free to operate then.
Interesting. Yep. Okay, so before you go, I want to share something with you and ask you a question before you go, and then let me give the number one more time because folks are actually, you guys. There's a lot of folks watching on YouTube. So again, I'm waving to you guys. I see you guys, and the chats are going strong. But you can call in as well. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Okay, Charles Beery, our producer, read a self-help book once that talked about this idea of organizing, and it was this concept of does this bring you joy? If it does, if the item brings you joy, then you keep it. If it doesn't, you throw it out. What do you think of that?
Right, I agree with that. But what the way to organize is just to take everything out and put things together and find out what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, Mm-hmm. And then you have to find a space for everything. But you got to get rid of some stuff, stuff you aren't using.
Yeah, and I'm just glancing, Linda. Betsy on YouTube. Hi, Betsy, waving to you, says really needs to downsize, or it needs to downsize big time because there's a lot of clutter, a lot of junk, and that kind of thing. I agree. I think, don't you think, Linda, we accumulate way more than we really need and have to have around us? Because there's something beautiful. Have you ever noticed this when you go into model homes, new home subdivisions, and you tour the model homes, and it's just so clean, and so you don't have a clutter. You have just a few items on the kitchen counter, a few items on the bookshelves, and it just seems so peaceful. What do you think of that, real quickly?
I agree with that. If you don't have a lot of stuff in a room and it's not overcrowded, it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Yeah, well, we're going to, along with the others on YouTube, Linda and Betsy's comment and how I feel about being a minimalist and purging everything, we're going to talk about that tomorrow with the art of detachment. And I appreciate so much you weighing in on this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every caller, thank you, Linda. Have a beautiful day in Texas. Every caller that calls in on Take Two, you're making a difference. And you're not going to probably see it on this side of the veil, or maybe you will. Maybe somebody will come up to you and say, hey, I heard your call on Take Two, and that's wonderful. But I think it's going to happen when you meet the Lord after your time is done here on earth, because we see it. Charles sees it. Ace McKay was our former producer before Charles, and we used to see it all the time. People would call in and say, these conversations that are happening on Take Two, because people are sharing their lived experiences, their wisdom, and their knowledge of different topics. It's helping people to grow. It's helping people to understand themselves better, and their relationship with God, their faith, their spiritual life, what they should do. It's a beautiful kind of, well, it is. It's a group effort. It's the mystical body of Christ. So thank you so much, Linda. Linda's going to free that phone line just for you. So please call in and share your take on this. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. If you have a junk drawer, if you cleaned out that drawer, if you had some something that you found in that drawer that was special to you, something that you realized, wow, I lost this for years and now I found it and I'm super excited about it. Or if you've hired a professional organizer to come in and help you with that, or you have tried to do it together as a family to really just purge things that we don't need. One of the things I will tell you, and maybe we should open up the discussion a little further than what we are talking about today, just one particular junk drawer. I think it was mentioned earlier with Kara, when parents and grandparents start to leave this world, sometimes they have saved so much, because depending on their age and if they came from post-depression era, something of that nature, or they accumulated a lot and it wasn't maybe very organized, because maybe they had some big families and everything just got thrown into the basement or the attic or something of that nature. And when the kids, the adult children, are left, they're grieving their parents, right? They're grieving the loss of their parents, and the whole family dynamic shifts at that point when parents start to go. But now the kids, the adult children, are left to clean up everything and to really try to figure out what to keep and what to give away. And it can be an added, I think, a burden on people's hearts, because they're going through that grieving process and now they have to go through all their parents' stuff. I know it was for me. I was left with having to go through everything that my parents hauled out from New Jersey to Arizona in their home. They didn't have a storage unit. It was in their garage in their home. And I had to go through everything. And I came from a big family, one of six. I'm the youngest of six. And I'm still going through it 3 years later. I'm not joking, because there was so much stuff. My dad worked for Metropolitan Life Insurance Company for like 57 years. And, he was a great organizer when it came to filing everything. So he has like everything. My mom was pretty cool as well. But it was tough. It was really hard to go through. Some people will say, well, isn't it wonderful? You get to go through that and it keeps their memory alive. I also think it can be painful too. So tell us what you think. Cause I think that's an important way to open up this discussion even more. And I really want to hear from you. 833-288-3986. As I get older, I think about it all the time. Like, if, God forbid, God can call us home at any time. We could finish this broadcast today and a few of us could go to meet the Lord. And I think about this all the time. I don't want my kids or friends or relatives having to come into the house and the garage and have to clean up everything. I don't want that. I want it very streamlined and very easy, with all of the information of what I want done with funeral arrangements and things like that. And I don't think it's morbid. I really don't. I think it's very responsible. And I think it's an act of, I think, of love for those that have to go through experiencing the loss, but then have to get on with their lives, and they don't need that kind of extra heavy weight, because it's hard enough to live life. Tell me what you think about that. 833-288-3986. Do you have a junk drawer? That is the topic today, but I kind of expanded it so everybody could weigh in, because I'm noticing we've got a lot of comments coming in on social media. I'm going to get to Ann. Ann, hold on. Don't go anywhere. Let me just check something here. I want to just make sure I have all of the shout outs. Can I do one quick shout out, Ann, before I get to you? I want to congratulate and a big shout out. Congratulations going out to 2 more members of the EWTN radio family. Queen of Victory Radio. I love that title, Queen of Victory. Wow. So congratulations. And Butte, Montana is celebrating 19 years with EWTN. And Veritas Catholic Radio Network, serving Norwalk, Stamford, and Bridgeport, Connecticut, marks 5 years with us. Congratulations to Tom Downey in Butte and Steve Lee in Connecticut, from your friends here at EWTN. I know and love the guys and the whole team, Steve Lee and his team at Veritas. I was fortunate enough to do some of their pledge drives for a few years, and I think it's a great group, just fabulous, and also Queen of Victory in Butte, Montana. Congratulations. Okay, Ann, you're up next in San Antonio, Texas. Look at Texas go today on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Ann.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I do have a junk storage that I recently got rid of. It took a lot out of me to go through. It was just a bunch of memories from like college, high school, middle school, like old yearbooks, notes, etc. Moms, just things that I thought I wanted to hold on to until I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. I've been living in it for about 3 years now. But I just realized that I had way too many things. And I'm trying to transition into a home, so I had to just go through everything and just clear things out. And I just realized that I was just holding on to a lot of memories that I just needed to let go. Though there were a lot of lovely notes from family members that have passed, I really just hold those near and dear to my heart. But I just realized that I was just holding on to junk, and it felt so good to just get rid of all these old things that I was holding on to from my past, that I just didn't realize that I just was. And I honestly just feel so great not having as much junk in my life. I just feel like I'm just able to just kind of just funnel through the things that really matter to me. So
it's very freeing, isn't it? Very liberating.
It is so liberating. It truly is, just to get rid of things that no longer serve me. Just old memories and boyfriends. I hate to say that, like, I was holding on to, but I guess I just wanted those memories. But for what? I feel like it's caused a little bit of drama in my past with other past relationships, just having little things. And just, I don't know, I'm seeking a future with my future husband. And I don't know, just some of these things, like, it's good to let go. Like, you don't need old pictures and memories. I mean, of course, they're always going to be a part of you, but I don't think that it's necessary to just hold on to these things. So that's just my hot take.
Oh, I totally agree. And let me ask you this question. So I need to, when you let go, or you threw away, or you gave it away, any items, did you take a picture first on your phone?
No, because I don't want to hold on to that anymore. I just feel like there are exes in my past that I still care deeply about, like, but it's not going to serve me or my future husband or family. I feel like I don't think there's any purpose of holding on to that junk. Like, I don't need, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't need those things anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So let me share a couple things with you, because I don't know how often you listen to Take Two, but I've been a life coach for many, many years, and we talk about this. So there's that step between, which I talked about, taking the picture, and then there's the clean break. You made a clean break, and that clean break leads to an amazing breakthrough. And you tapped into the right words of freedom, and it's so liberating. Absolutely. And it's that fresh start. So when we enter those different chapters of our life, it's nice to enter in a very clean way. and that's beautiful. So I want to just commend you for that, because that's huge. Most people can't do that. That's why they take that bridge step of taking the picture. So I just want to say that's awesome for you, because I think that absolutely clears away any distraction or any past, like you use the word drama, stuff like that. It clears that away so that you can focus on your beautiful, bright future.
Thank you so much. I enjoy your show. It's actually my first time listening today, and I'm always super nervous to call into Guadalupe Radio, but I'm really glad I did. And I recently did this, so this felt really great. It feels great. Like, I just don't feel like I'm holding on to anybody from my past that is no longer in my present. And so just cutting those ties just really helps me look forward to the future and truly live in the present without looking back.
Exactly. Amen, sister. So this is your first time listening and first time calling. Wow. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we're practicing the art of detachment. I'm going to share some things that we use in life coaching. So if you can tune in tomorrow, you might get some additional information too that might help.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and just your show in general.
Oh, thank you, Ann. God bless you. Have a beautiful day in San Antonio, Texas. I love San Antonio. I think it's so incredible. Okay, let's go to, we're going out of the state of Texas and going into the state of Colorado, Loveland, Colorado, on Catholic Radio Network. Susan is with us. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Debbie. Sorry, I just kind of almost lost the volume. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Yes, go right ahead.
So I'm right now going through what you were talking about with your parents. My dad died 7 years ago. My mom just moved into assisted living, and it was like once she got on board with it, it was like we just jumped on the opportunity because she has dementia and she's been opposed to it. And then once she got on board, we just did it really quickly. I'm the fifth of six children, and luckily my sisters were out here actually I had surgery, and they were out here for me, and when this happened, and we just kind of jumped on it. But when my dad died 7 years ago, my mom, every time I went over there, would send me home with a carload of stuff, and I just became overwhelmed with all this stuff from my parents. And right now we're just, in 5 days, we got a 13 cubic foot dumpster, and we pretty much emptied out my mom's house. But I swear I'm not going to do this to my children. It's really hard. And I'm getting to the point where that I'm detaching myself from the sentimental value of things.
Right. Okay, so I'm right with you, Susan, and that's what I expressed earlier. And I know Mitch is right behind you in Houston, Texas, waiting to come on air, probably sharing something similar. And I agree with you. That's what did it for me. When I went through my parents' stuff, I was like, I will never do this to my relatives. This is just too hard. It takes too much time. It just tugs on your heart. You don't know what to give away. You don't. And then I started making phone calls to everybody in the family. Do you want this? Do you want that? No. Okay. I'm going to just get rid of it. So I'm right with you, Susan, but here's what I'm going to pray, because it sounds like, you're still going through it. I really leaned on my guardian angel, and I will tell you that I had the most incredible experience, because I felt like there were times that my guardian angel was going through the stuff and helping me go as quick as I possibly could without it affecting me. So I'm gonna pray to my guardian angel to go to your guardian angel to give you that extra boost there.
Well, thank you. We're so close. I mean, we're like a week away from getting her house on the market, and she is adjusting to assisted living. But I still have crates of stuff at my house that I'm now the guardian of, that I have to go through. So thank you so much for your prayers.
Oh, you're welcome. And do you feel comfortable giving us your mom and dad, your dad who passed, and your mom's first name? I'm going to put them in the book, Susan.
Oh yeah, my dad's name is David, and my mom's name is Mary Lou.
Mary Lou, did you say?
Mary Lou, yeah. Sorry, I'm driving on a country road to work.
Oh, no, you're perfect. Drive safely. God bless you. Thank you, Susan, for weighing in on this. Okay, we're going to get to Mitch in Houston, Texas. And Mitch, hold on one second. I just have to share this with our listeners. Lots of highlights, lots of fascinating things happening every day around the country, around the world. The Catholic Man, this is Podcast Central. The Catholic Man Show. Another great podcast on EWTN's Podcast Central is The Catholic Man Show. Adam and David come together for this week's to discuss what does it mean to rest in God and how do we cultivate a life of leisure. Wow, I love that. So you can hear The Catholic Man Show and other faith-filled podcasts from our friends and affiliates around the world, all in one place, all free at EWTN Podcast Central. All you have to do is visit EWTN.com/radio and click on Podcast Central today. See how quick I could do that? Okay, Mitch in Houston, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. You're going to be our final caller today, so tell us what's going on in your life.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly. Go right ahead.
Great. I wanted to, not all of us had that experience that what you guys have kind of talked about a little bit. Mm-hmm. I kind of had the inverse where we didn't come together. I also come from a large family, but we didn't have the inverse of that, of going through, it was, in a way, it was requested of us not to come together and go through things and this, you take this, you take that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost denied. It was asked that you do it individually. And I get it. We're all different. Even in families, we're all different people.
Right.
But I think it's really important, very cathartic, to go through that process. It's tough. It would have been excruciating to some. But I think those experiences often are necessary just to get those questions answered. Or what's the most important thing is to rebuild broken relationships or create relationships that we're being asked to create. And I feel like not going through that process, one of us got this pot or, a plant or something like that. And then it may be, not much, but it also gives you the opportunity to get together and share and discuss really
Mm-hmm.
important things about your parents. And, whether they were good or bad or indifferent, you go through that process and execute that exercise that way. I think it's really important.
I actually agree with you a lot about what you just shared because it does bring closure. You do find some missing pieces of information, especially when you grow up in a big family, because a lot of times things can get lost. Everybody plays the telephone game, or there's like some gossiping or people talk in little groups, and then when finally the parents depart, you can get those conversations going again and bring closure. That's actually, you're right. Yeah. That actually happened. That was actually part of what happened in my experience too. So Mitch, I love your perspective on this, and I love your experience of it and a different angle, because it goes along with what we say in coaching. It's the way you look at things. It's the way you perceive things and what you get out of it. So I appreciate that, Mitch, very much, that you weighed in on this.
Well, thank you. We're still, after 6-7 years of their passing, we're still that closure. Not having that closure, there's so many frustrations of when you're not discussing things, you avoid discussions, mm-hmm. and just I'd rather not live like that.
Right. But then, Mitch, again, you've got Rob on YouTube who weighed in at the same time you were calling in, saying it took years to go through my mother's stuff, and more painful than pleasant because of heartache. So, everybody kind of, see, that's why grieving and family dynamics, everything shifts as people start to pass. And that's interesting. Mitch, thank you so much. I have to thank the show team real quickly because I'm going to run out of time because they did such a fine job today. Ace was on the phones. Charles is our producer. Michael McCall on social media. and all of the affiliates. Thank you for carrying Take Two. It's the live platform for the laity to come together and really learn and grow as the mystical body of Christ. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Tomorrow, I'm going to share tips and tools and practicing the art of detachment. Okay, this is going to be a big show tomorrow. Everybody tune in. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
Are you facing a crisis in life? Are you feeling stuck and unable to see your